Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Alrighty. I'm hoping that I got this right because this is like my third time recording this shit. OBS is like selling or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I want to start by giving some context to this channel because it's my first video. Nobody knows what's going on. This is going to be my second channel, but I also haven't posted shit on my main channel. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do there. I love gaming content. I love video essays, you feel me? But trying to find a balance where I'm doing something I want to do and something I can continuously do. You know what I mean? Something that's fun, but something that doesn't leave me longing for a switch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an ADHD ass nigga. I get distracted and I get hyper fixated on new shit all the time. Once I find some content that really sticks for me, that's gonna be what I do. In the meantime, I also like doing video journals. I like watching video journals. So this is going to be the channel where I get on here and I don't edit nothing and I just yap about bullshit. It could be anything. It could be anything. Like I could yap about fucking why Amazing Spider-Man is still ass. Or like, I don't know, gas prices. I don't know. We come here and we have fun. But today though, obviously, as I don't know, the title will probably explain. I don't know what I'm gonna title it yet. I got fired from my job on some bullshit, man. I got fired from my job over something that wasn't really my fault. But I'm not really tripping. Like, I don't feel too fucked up about it, if that makes any sense. I'll be honest. The job was kind of ass. Like, I just keep it a bean. I made $12 working at a Greek restaurant. And I'm a shift manager, you feel me? So all my boys, they was making $10 an hour, which is like, I don't know, I live in Georgia. For like needed context, the minimum wage is $7. So I'm obviously blessed to make, well, you know, considerably more than $7. I'm not gonna sit here and be ungrateful, but also I can't live off of $12. Like, I got, you know, my income is essential to my household, you know what I mean? And I was kind of in a rough spot. So yeah, I got fired, but on the bright side, it gave me the nudge I needed to stop being complacent and just get a better job. And luckily, like, I was blessed to get a better job as soon as I really, like, very quickly upon me being notified that I was going to lose my job. But what happened was, I'm gonna be honest, upper management ain't really like me for the longest. My like actual manager, the store manager, he's cool as fuck. He has his like quirks. He's an old head. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you can't really argue with him. He's very stubborn, but I like him. He's cool. You know, I met him at a time where, you know, like, in a rough time in my life. He gave me a lot of needed guidance. That's all I'll say on that. He's cool. And there was two things really. One day, man, we were just talking on shift. We have this white girl, and she's, for example, or for context, we're all black. Me, my guys, shift manager, most of the people at the store, and we got this one white girl who likes to, you know, she really be on her ally shit. You know what I mean? Like, trying to prove to us that she's for the people, that she's with the culture and shit like that. She's got a black stepdad, so I can understand why she is the way that she is. But one day we were all on shift and she was talking about her mom and how, like, she's not a fan of her mom and how she's not a fan of white people because her mom says the N-word and she's racist and she just doesn't understand how white people are the way that they are. And she was going on a rant about white people, the white girl, right? And then I didn't even think of nothing. I didn't think nothing about it because it just seemed like such a nothing burger to me. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I wasn't even in the conversation. Like, all my boys were saying the same thing. Like, I personally wasn't even included in the conversation like that. But I wake up the next day. My boss texts me a review of some lady who was in the lobby, and it's not a big store. She was in the lobby and she heard us having the conversation. And, you know, like, her review said 3 young black men were going on a rant about white people. And I laughed it off because I was like, first of all, this is not accurate. You know what I mean? Like, it's just basically, you know, it's just like, it's bullshit, right? And then it's not what happened. But apparently for upper management, like, they were livid. Like, my boss told me that They saw that review and they was ready to fire everybody on the shift. I was like, damn, like I did not see that coming. I will take my L as a manager. You know, under like code of conduct, it is my job to discourage conversations such as the ones that we had, right? Like, and I can understand that. I can take my L, but I was so like blown away because of everything that has happened in that store. It's like that genuinely was like some shit I never could have imagined being a problem. The white girl complaining about white people. The truth didn't matter. It was a spectacle. I understand though, like as much as I will stand on the belief that that being one of the reasons I lost my job was some bullshit. Like I get part of customer service, making sure the customer feels welcome. I'm not so dense that I don't realize that, so it's whatever. I talked to upper management. It was like, yeah, you know, it's a job in jeopardy, but you know, we're not gonna just outright fire you. I felt like some heads were gonna roll. I genuinely, the whole time, I didn't really trust their word on that, because they just seemed like they were way more upset about it than I realized. And we, you know, I don't know. The next day, the day after, it was a break-in, like in the store, and they didn't take anything. They took like no, they didn't. They deadass didn't take anything. They broke through the window, wrecked some shit, and left. And you know, one of my boys texted me, was like warning me about the break-in before my boss actually announced it to the group chat. I'm like, why is he like warning me? Like, why is he being so careful, or why does he want me so bad to like be aware of this, right? Like, let me word it like that. And apparently it's because as far as I'm aware, they think I played a part in it. They think it was the day after we had the conversation about my job being in jeopardy, and although we have no cameras in the store, so there's like no proof, from my understanding, they thought I played a part in the break-in. And so that plus my you know, plus my last complaint, me being the leader, it was like, yeah, some heads got to roll. And my boss was vouching for me, but he said that if he didn't fire me, that basically they were gonna fire the both of us and reset the entire management of the store. Shit's crazy. I remember my guys, like, I worked there. I've been working there since I was 18. I'm 21 now. I've been working there with my friend group for like since we graduated high school. My boy Rob, my boy Hyro, who came and went, Sean, and etc. Like, they called me on my day off, right? I'm like in the crib drinking tea or some shit. Like, I was literally in pajamas and a hoodie drinking like tea, like green tea, matcha tea. And they called me. They're like, yo, come outside real quick. And I was like tight, because I'm like, it's my day off. Like, y'all dragging me into some bullshit, man. I don't want to go do nothing. I'm chilling. But they're like, yo, just come outside. I come outside. I get in the car. You know, I dap them up, and they're all just sitting there staring at me. My nigga Robert's like, so, how's your day been? I'm like, good, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like, how's my day been? What is this about? Y'all are acting real ominous right now. And it was in that moment I kind of realized, like, I'm like, oh shit, like this probably has something to do with work, because they were all on shift together. Like, they all opened, and it was my day off. And then they were like, yeah, no. We talked to the boss, and he said, you know, he basically what I just told y'all about like 5 minutes ago is what he explained to my guys. And he told my guys not to tell me, but they're my guys, you feel me? So they warned me regardless, and I appreciate them for that. I'm blessed to have a crew as solid as them. But I was sitting in that car like, damn. I wasn't even like, just damn, you know what I mean? And on some real shit, I wasn't even upset. I low-key hated that job. And by low-key, I mean high-key. I had nightmares about that job. Like, you know, I don't know, any fast food nigga knows. And I know this is universal. If it's not, I'm tripping. But you hear that, like, register beep, or you hear that printer beep in your dreams, man. Like, I would wake up in cold sweats, like did I order produce? Fuck. Did I count inventory? Like, I used to be tripping about that job. So when they told me, it was like, damn, like, it's really about time. Like, it's really that time. I gotta get a new job. But also, it was a blessing. And it was not even a blessing in disguise. It just was a blessing, because I hated that job. That job, like, wore me down. That job broke my soul. We've had so many coworkers. I'll tell you how bullshit that job was. Like, before I became shift manager, like officially, like on paper, they had me working as a manager, just without my raise because they didn't want to pay for the certification that I needed in order, to be officially a manager. My safe serve or whatever, serve save, whatever it's called, like a little blue paper, lasts for 5 years and shit like that, saying I'm qualified in that field. Dealing with getting underpaid, making 12. The workload was ridiculous. My other coworkers, like aside from my guys and the manager and like these two girls we worked with who were pretty great, everyone else was like super ass, and it was just constantly having to pick up their workload because if they don't sweep and mop, it doesn't look bad on them, it looks bad on me, the manager. You know what I mean? So just doing a bunch of extra shit that I really didn't. It was a hard job, I'll say that much. I got to relax with my friends on certain days, like when we weren't busy. The few days we weren't busy, I was lucky enough to have those shifts with my guys, you know what I mean? So if we're doing some like menial shit like cleaning up, I'm doing it with my homies. But aside from that, bro, like that job was miserable. We have this one coworker named, like, I'll say his name's Jerome or something in case he finds this video, but he probably won't, obviously. But he's so ass. Like, he is so ass. Like, he's like some 50-year-old nigga who he always want to argue with people at work, you know what I mean? He's big on that like alt-right, like YouTuber, Twitch streamer shits. Like, he watched a lot of Osmongold. He watched that blue VR chat nigga. He watched the quartering. He's Grums. He's a Twitter motherfucker. You feel me? And he's like 50, big. No disrespect, because I'm big too. Just like your classic incel nigga. Like, never had a girlfriend type shit. I'm not making this up. This is shit he's told. And he is so hard to work with. I really do be trying to be sympathetic because I don't think anybody's like, I didn't think anybody was hopeless until I met him. I encourage him and he does less work. I tell him he's doing a bad job and he does less work. I teach him how to do certain things and he does less work. Like, he's just a shitty worker all around, like a shitty person all around. I've never met anybody who I've disliked as much as I dislike him. I truly dislike him. I've given him so much grace, and he's just hard to deal with every day. Every day. But he was one of the reasons I was about done with the job in the first place. He drove our other two managers away that been with the job since we all graduated, because even though they weren't in our friend group, those two girls, they graduated when we graduated. We all came from the same school. We were all cool. He drove them away because he's weird around women. He's uncomfortable around women. He has driven customers away because he's just creepy. You feel me? Like, he's always asking the girls to come over and drink and smoke with him. He's like one of them niggas. You know what I mean? And despite everybody's complaints, he became Shifley. He became Shifley because he knew my manager back in high school. They go way back. So despite all the complaints, despite all the issues, he became manager. And he had a bunch of complaints on him. Like, I remember my boss got on him for being weird around the women, for constantly like making advances around these young girls. And he was so mad that day, he threw a customer's food at them, and they made a review about it. And he didn't get fired. He kept his motherfucking job. It is. I think that's one of the. We went to Chili's the other day. I'm talking to one of my boys, and they're like, "Yo, this nigga Jerome, he's the bane of my existence. This dude that I'm talking about is the nicest person on the planet. My boy Sean is the nicest person on the planet. You don't hear him talk negatively about anybody. He's the sweetest dude you will ever meet. The bane of his existence, bro. What type of person you have to be on that level?" But I've lost track. I can't lie. What I'm trying to say is that I was grateful, like on some real shit, to be free of that job. And I was blessed to be able to get a better job very quickly. What I do now is, I'm not gonna get into what I do, but the big increase, you know what I mean? And losing my job, even before I got this new one, it didn't beat me up as much as it probably would have at a previous point in my life, you know. But like, despite everything, I'm pretty proud of where I'm at right now. I graduated high school. I was a weird ass kid, you know what I mean? Like a weird ass man because we're grown now. But and I was a junkie. I smoked all the time, did shrooms, did acid, shit like that. Like a bunch of bad stuff in my body. Drank a whole lot. Was shitty to all my friends. You know, my ego was very easily bruised. And you know, all the time, all the effort I put into kind of trying my best to get over that hump in my life. This was kind of like the end of an era, if that makes any sense. Like me losing this job that I've been in, because I didn't smoke until I got this job. I'm gonna be honest. Like I didn't. I'm not gonna blame the job. You feel me? I'm a grown ass man. I live with my decisions. You know what I mean? The bad ones included. But you know, I've been doing a lot better in life. And me like leaving this job and leaving the people I knew at this job, it's like the end of an era. And it's been a long time since I've been hopeful for like a new era. You know, I got social anxiety, so I don't really like dealing with new people. But like, for once, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's, you know, not that I really have a choice. The niggas need money, but you know, instead of like settling, for the instead of being like, you know, oh, I have to go to work and I have to talk to new people, I'm like looking forward to it, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, despite losing my job, I have not been happier. Me and all my friends, we hanging out, we cooling. It's no drama. Um, I'm really stress free right now, which is weird. Like, because it's not like I'm dealing with less stressful things. I think I've just gotten better at handling the stress, and I've gotten better at not letting the stress control me. Like 2023 me, man, I had a big woe is me phase, you know? Like, yeah, like shit was kind of fucked up. Like bills were fucked up, relationships were fucked up. I had a lot of issues, but I let it take over, you know what I mean? I let it control my outlook on life. And it's like, you know, I realized in my old age, 21, like everybody's got shit they deal with. Everybody, every single body, every person you look at has their own demons that they think, that they feel as if like, you know, like it's the worst problem on the planet. And that's entirely valid. Like that's super valid. It's all about perspective, you know. If a nigga, you know, there's homeless people out there who don't eat, but I'm not gonna compare their struggles to somebody who like say, you know, like I don't know, like I don't really know, because you can't really compare traumas, but I'd say like got bullied in high school, right? Obviously their issue isn't as bad as the niggas who can't eat, but I mean, to them, like that issue is everything. And yeah, the thing that helped me with my issues was just perspective, putting myself in a better perspective to handling those issues, not letting it drag me down, you know, and doing shit for the right reasons. Because when I got into college, my first year of college, man, I felt like I was doing everything right, but it was for the wrong reasons, and that ended up backfiring. I started college, and I was like, I felt like that nigga, bro. It was my first introduction to drugs and liquor, so I'm feeling like a social beast, a social machine, and I'm hanging out with the wrong people. I'm hanging out with the wrong crowd. My grades were good. I was making money, and I was working out. But I think these are all things that are typically outside my comfort zone. Like I wasn't doing any of that shit in high school. I wasn't going to parties in high school. I wasn't hanging out with people in high school, except for like my close boys that are still my boys now. But even then, I was antisocial. I wasn't talking to girls in high school. I wasn't talking to people in high school. I wasn't doing drugs in high school. I wasn't drinking liquor in high school. I didn't have good grades in high school. I didn't have bad grades. I was like a AB type of nigga, ABC. But you know, working out too. Yeah, I was a fat kid in high school. Out of nowhere, I start college and I'm doing all these things, and And I burnt myself out. So like the year after I started college, my next year, nigga, I was burnt out like a motherfucker. Like I didn't go to no parties. I ain't talk to nobody. I ain't do nothing. Except I kept the bad habit of doing drugs and drinking liquor. So it was like that one year where I was just pushing myself to do all this shit that I wasn't like used to. I burnt out of it. I put myself in a bad hole, and I've been spending the next like the year after that, years after that, kind of rebuilding myself. And I'm happy with the point I'm at. I genuinely, this is the first time in a long time where I wouldn't trade my previous experiences for anything else. I wouldn't just like if a genie like walked up to me and slapped me in my ass and was like, yo, like, you know, what do you want to do in life? Where do you want to be? I would be okay where I'm at, right? I wouldn't unless the nigga gives me $1 billion. Like, I mean, I wouldn't choose to lose the experiences I've dealt with for an easier life. I think even though I'm not at the apex of my journey, I think the things I've gone through have been important to my journey. Yeah. That's a bar. And I'm gonna end the video off on something my boss told me before he fired me. It was a pretty nice quote. He said, nigga, you became a shift lead when nobody else really wanted to. And I know you was nervous, but you jumped in the fire. And you said that shit not even that hot. I thought that was a pretty dope quote. Alright, I'm gonna holla at y'all.